anybody doesn't want to be on camera. That
Thank
was
you, Miss Sam.
it.
Oh, no, okay.
All right.
Because they would not.
No, no, we're not.
It's like, do I need to, man, look at that, do I need to exit the room?
All right. Good morning, Ekaro, Ekabo. Welcome. Um, Welcome to another Ifa Temple service with Okaran Sode Temple. I am blessed and thankful to be celebrating the Odun Ifa with Iya Oshunkemi here in Stark, Florida, and her beautiful family, family of Ifa and Orisha people, which is amazing. And so that's where we are broadcasting from this morning. As always, let us try to begin our mornings. Today is Oshe Ifa, so we're going to start with our morning prayers. Shit. Alolo me, cool piece of water, pure tranquil water. This was the Ifa cast for Orumi. Was going to take Olomi Tutu on her cool water, his wife. Ifa says it's taboo. Erigiala will never allow Olomi Tutu to die cruelty to death. Olomi Tutu and death have entered into a covenant. I said, cool roads, cool home, cool Eshu, cool Ori. I said, Ibashe Olodumare Oba Terekae. Ibashe Ati Oro, Ibashe Ati Oro, Ibashe Oromi La Lady Queen, Ibashe Akoda, Ibashe Asheda. Ibashe to all the Ramon on the right hand side of Olodumare. Ibashe to all the Ramon on the left hand side of Olodumare. Ibashe to our mothers, Ibashe to our fathers. Ibashe to our Luos, those who initiated us into Ifa. Ibashe to our Oyu Bonas, those who are guiding us along the path. Ibashe to our Baba Ifas, those who are teaching us, and our Iya Ifas that are teaching us about our faith. Ibashe to all our brothers and sisters in Ifa and Orisha. Ibashe to our wives, Ibashe to our children's. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Ed Yobe. He who hears our pleas and accepts our pleas. He who hears our pleas and approves our pleas. He who talks to us to ensure the talk is completely absorbed. He who hears our pleas and accepts our pleas in the name of Ifa. He who hears our pleas and approves our pleas is Eshu Odara. He who talks to us to ensure the talk is completely absorbed is Orishanla. Orishanla, you are the one that molds human beings. The one that molds one cannot fail to impress one. The striped frog is the one who summons the rainfall. The bullfrog is the one who summons the downpour. It is whatever the acidic Capone tree root tells the earth that the earth accepts. Whatever the big rat tells the earth is what the earth accepts. Ifa, please accept and approve all that we tell you. I said. Oh, Shirgunga. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the rats to be thankful. The rats asked why. Orumila responded because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which you all enjoyed. The rats said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of this ingratitude leads to inglorious death of rats. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the fish to be thankful. The fish asked why. Orumila responded because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which you all enjoyed. The fish said there was no need to be thankful. Consequence of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of fish. Oromila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the birds to be thankful, and the birds asked why. Oromila responded because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which birds enjoyed. Birds said there was no need to be thankful. Consequence of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of birds. Oromila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the beast to be thankful. The beast asked why. Oromila responded because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which beasts enjoyed. The beast said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences and gratitude lead to the glorious death of beasts. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the human beings to be thankful. The human beings asked why. Orumila responded because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which you all enjoy. It was only human beings that said there was a need to be thankful. Ifa, I come to show my thanks. If one has shown benevolence, then we will all receive our blessings. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bùrẹ́, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bùrẹ́, àdúpẹ́ àná o, a ó bọ̀rẹ̀ torí bọ̀ Olódùmarè, àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bùrẹ́. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bùrẹ́. A dúpẹ́ now, Aobore, Toribo, Oriemi, Awadupe, Awabure, Awadupe, oh, Awabure. Adúpẹ́ àná wa ó gbòòrè torí bò irun mọ̀lẹ̀ àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bùrẹ́ àwa dúpẹ́ ọ̀ àwa bùrẹ́ adúpẹ́ àná wa ó gbòòrè torí bò lẹ́gùn lọ́sà àṣẹ. It roast on tutu. Pounded yam without soup can be difficult to consume. This was the Ephod cast for a tutu, child of the body Dagon. He whose attitude was not acceptable, he who was full of bad character, he whose bad character had prevented him from coming to Ephod's domain. Now we come to solicit on behalf of Etutu. We come to beg on behalf of Etutu. Father, please be patient and overlook this provocation. We come to beg on behalf of Etutu. Olodumare will respond that those who come to beg on behalf of the Tutu, those who come to solicit on behalf of the Tutu, how many children does Ifa have that he would cast one out? Those who come to beg on behalf of the Tutu. Ifa, we come to beg today. We ask that our character not lead us away from the truths of Ifa. We ask that our character not take us away from the truths of all of the Orisha. We ask that all good things in our lives are supported by what we do within Ifa and Orisha together. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Ofumeji, Eba Odu. The king who molds human beings, the king who molds human destiny, the king who supports and assists human beings, the king who molds human character, the king who molds human beings is the name given to Orishana. The king who molds human destiny is the name given to Orumila. The king who supports and assists human beings is the name given to one's Ori. The king who molds human character is the name given to Olodumare. Orangumeji, I call you by your formula, which is known as Hefa Odu. Please let my matters be fruitful and rewarding. It is impossible to see the depth of the river. All what I'm doing, do not let people see evil in me. It is impossible to see the depth of the sea. All what I'm doing, do not let human beings think of evil in me. Orangumeji, I call you by your formula, which is known as Epa Odu. Please let my matters be fruitful and rewarding. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh, Torah. Tying the feet of two bootstraps for me is not big enough to use his headgear. Had it been enough to use the headgear, taking it home and adorn my head with it. This was the podcast for Wude Lao and going on a spiritual mission to EJ Bootleg. We call him the locust bean seller and pay her money for his commodity. We call him the salt seller and pay her money for her commodity. Oshia Wude Lao is a good awo. Ashe. Oshia Wude Lao, please hear our prayers and take them to Olodumare so that they may be answered. Ashe. Oh, Torah. Akeke ni Bakisa, the act which strikes the tree is the one who cast Ifa for Rumila when he was going to receive Iban Ashe from Olodumare. If an Awo says that we shall have wealth, we shall certainly have wealth. Akeke ni Bagisa, in the mouth of an Awo, is as Iban Ashe in the mouth of an Awo. If an Awo says that we shall have good spouse, we shall certainly have good spouse. Akeke ni Bagisa, in the mouth of an Awo, is as Iban Ashe in the mouth of an Awo. If an Awo says that we shall have good children, we shall certainly have good children. Akekeni Bagisa, in the mouth of an Awo resides Iban Ashe in the mouth of an Awo. If an Awo says that we shall have all the array of life, we shall certainly have all the array of life. Akekeni Bagisa, in the mouth of an Awo resides Iban Ashe in the mouth of an Awo. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá máa mú wí o, irúnmọlẹ̀ ó bà, Ifá ó bà o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Let the Ashe that comes from our mouth be with us today. Let the Ashe that comes from our mouth be with us. All the Orisha hear us. Let the Ashe from our mouth be with us today. Ashe. Bimo duro, Timo sure, Timo bere, Timo sure, Timo kule, Timo sure, Timo jogo, Timo sure, Ire Timo suoritipo. If I stand up and pray, if I bend down and pray, if I sit down and pray, if I kneel down and pray, my Ori will hear all of my prayers. Well, let's all hold our Ori. Ori eni laure eni ori eni laure eni moji lauro mafo mori ori eni laure eni Orieni laure eni o. Orieni laure eni. Moji lowuro mofo mori. Orieni laure eni. One's Oris, one's chance for all success. One's Oris, one's chance for all success. When I wake up in the morning, I hold my head. One's Oris, one's chance for all success. Gbogbo ire itasu, Ifá ò gbà ọ́ lọ́rọ̀, àtìgbà tí a jù Ifá ò gbà ọ́ lọ́rọ̀, ó ṣe àwúrẹ́là Ifá ti gbọ́. All the prayers that we have given this morning, we ask, Olodumare, please hear them. All the prayers that we have done for each other, we ask that Olodumare hears them. We ask for all the prayers that we have done for our families, we ask that Olodumare hears them. Please come and support us during this time. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Good morning, and thank you everyone for allowing me to give my temple service here this morning, and thank you for everyone that is online watching. Um, Thank you. The topic of today is kind of twofold. It's a biased topic. One, my first thought is Ifan Orisha is great, right? It provides us with so much goodness, and Olodumare gives us guidance, right? That's what's beautiful about Ifan Orisha, and to me, why it is great. Um, you know, I love my brothers and sisters and all of the other faiths that they practice with their hearts and they practice well. But something that makes it special is the communication that we have with the Orisha, with Olodumare, and our prayers being heard. So I want to start. There's children here, I believe. There's one child here and another one running around somewhere. But I wanted to start with a special message for the kids and those of you who are watching online. So um, I was asking the young lady here who's sitting here in front of me. I asked, "Did your parents tell you about Olodumare?" Right, and she says, "Yes, they told me about Olodumare." I said, "Well, tell me what they told you." She said, "Well, I forgot." That's okay, and I reassured her that my children, as much as we have talked about Olodumare, they forget too. So I'll try to keep the message nice and short, just so we understand. First, I want us to all understand that Olodumare is, he is our creator. He is the one who provides us guidance. As it says in Orangumeji, he is the one who molds our character, right? If we understand these messages, we'll start to begin to understand just a little bit of how important Olodumare is to us as people of Ifa and Orisha, because his expectation of us is that, one, not only that we live the best lives that we can, is that we have outstanding and beautiful character, right? That we can share with our friends, with our family. We want to make sure that we leave the world better than how we met it, right? And so that's what Olodumare wants for us. There's a there's a song that I remember one of the Oluos, Jose Rodriguez, sharing online a couple years back, and it was such a beautiful song. And I'm going to share that with the kids right now. And it goes, "Eje como inko fa o, eje como inko fa." Eje como inko fa o, eje como inko fa. Jòjòló ọmọ kékeré jòjòló àwọn lọ̀rẹ́ Ẹlẹ́dùmarè. Ẹ jẹ́ kán mọ̀ yín kó fà. So that song means, please tell your children about Ifa. Children are Olodumare's favorite. Please tell your children about Ifa. So that's my message for our kids. So, getting into the root of our message and talking about how Olodumare communicates with us. One of the most important and most beautiful days that I have come to love and practice within the Yoruba calendar is Oshe, right? Oshe Ifa or Oshe Uso, Oshe Obatala. initiated to Obatala, I'm initiated to Ifa. So these are days that I can go to Orumila, I can go to Obatala, I can seek their guidance through offerings with OB, the standard items we've talked about in the past with OB, OT, PO, whatever it may be that we need to offer that they accept. And we get feedback from that information, right? This is how they provide us with guidance. And so having this guidance in our lives gets us to maintain our alignment. And so it's important for all of us to make sure that we maintain our practice of Oshe Ifa. Speaking specifically about the practice of Ifa under the priesthood of Olodumare, priesthood of Orumila, excuse me. Orumila has a very special position. His position is Eleri Ipuin. That means he is the one that is witness to our destiny. And he's not only witness to just our destiny, but the destiny of all of the Orisha, the destiny of all of the Iramole, right? And so that's kind of what we need to understand about his position. So I'm going to jump into a couple of verses that I'm going to share from our corpus to help us understand a little bit about Orumila. Okay, so please repeat after me. Afi laka laka, maja laka laka. This was Ifa's message to Orumila when coming from heaven to earth, when coming to mend the world. He was advised to offer Ebo. So this is the story. As it begins, Orumila was in the position where he was going to be coming to this world. And as it says in the verse, he was coming to mend the lives of followers of Ifa. He was coming to be the person who was able to answer their prayers, give them the advice, give them the proper sacrifice material. So that's what he was coming to do. He goes to seek help from the Awos of heaven, and he has Ifa cast before he makes his trip. They told him that he's going to be very, very successful. He's going to be focusing on getting everyone to do what they needed to do. But, he might face a few challenges, and that'll really sort of change his mind. So Orumila offers his Ebo as he always does, and he makes his way to the world. So as he comes to the world, he says, my first job is to make sure that everything inside of our practitioners' homes are going well. So he wanted to focus on the problems that were happening inside the home. So people would come to him, they would seek his guidance, they'd have divination, they would have help from Orumila. He would give them give them solutions to their problems and help them solve the problems in their home. Now, as he was watching all these folks, he started to realize that not only were there problems inside the home, but there were problems outside of the home too. So he says, okay, let me see what I can do. Okay, now I'm going to go outside the home. I'm going to start assisting them outside of their home. So he does the same thing. He's helping the folks outside. He's helping them find their solutions. But then he starts to realize, he's like, oh, but now they're developing problems inside the home again. And so now he finds himself in quite a battle. And the people who he had once helped, who started to develop a problem on either side, either inside or outside the home, they started to think some type of way about Orumila. They started to say to themselves, you know what, he's not really as good as he says he is. He's not solving all my problems, right? And so they started to speak negatively of Orumila. Orumila was beside himself. He was like, I'm working as hard as I can. It's hard to be in two places at once, hard to focus on two things at once. So he decides to return to Olodumare because now he's in a place where he's stuck. He can't do all of it by himself. So he decides to go back and have Ifa cast again. Please repeat after me. Afi laka laka. Maja laka laka. This was Ifa's message for Eshu Odara. When coming from heaven to earth. When coming to mend the world. He was advised to offer Ebo. So when Orumila goes back to the Awos to seek help, they give him the advice. He says, Orumila, you can't do this by yourself. You need to seek the help of Eshu Odara. It'll be important for you to take care of the problems inside of the home while Eshu takes care of the problems outside of the home. So at this point, you're no longer going to be alone, but you're going to have assistance from from your best friend and partner. And that's how we see Orumila and Eshu. They're partners in crime. So they both make their way back to the earth, and this time they're met with great success. Orumila finds himself in a place where he is now taking care of everything inside the home, and everybody is very pleased. And Eshu is handling all of the business outside the home as the people offer their abode. He's making sure that all of their prayers get to Olodumare. He's making sure when trouble comes to see them, he pushes that trouble to the side, right? He becomes the one of karmic justice, I should say, right? Karmic justice for those who are doing the best that they can. And so that's how they are able to bring support to us. But that's a beautiful story, I believe, for us to understand that everything that we do within Ifa and Orisha, we cannot do alone, right? It is best to do everything that we do within a community. When I was speaking to Ia yesterday, I was hoping this point came across to everyone. It was beautiful to see everyone together to come and support Ia for her Odun. It was beautiful to feel the love in the room, the excitement for Ifa and Orisha. It was wonderful to be together, right, with people of like mind, people of like thoughts, only wanting goodness, and that's what Orumila and Eshu wanted, right? They came together to support us. And this togetherness is among all of the Iramole, all of the Orisha, right? They come together for our goodness, whether it be Orumila, Eshu, Oshun, Ogun, whoever it may be, Yemoja, they're all coming together for our goodness, right? And they're teaching us that community is important, right? So I encourage all of you listening online and everybody here to maintain your community, maintain your togetherness, right? Even those who are far away and a part of the digital community, that's at least something until we can come together for our celebrations or whatever it may be. But maintain that community and togetherness. Now, coming back to the idea and concept of guidance. Now, we know that Orumila is here to help us take care of things inside of our home. We know that Eshu is here to take care of things on the outside of our home. Let's understand the importance of Osheifa, these devotion days, and why we must practice this. So please repeat after me. These are long names. I apologize. Oli Oloyin Inyin Mayin. The Awo of Oloye. Adagba Migoro. The Awo of Ijero Hills. And Oruru Mara. The youngest among the three. They were the Awo who cast Ifa for Orumila. When both death and affliction were determined to enter his home. He was advised to offer a book. Okay, so this story comes from the Odu of Ogbefun. Our previous story was from Erete Meti. I apologize for not sharing that. This story comes from Ogbefun. Now, Orumila at this particular time was living a very wonderful and blessed life. He had all of the ire that he was looking for. He was finding, he was fulfilling, and he was living his destiny at this particular point. He had a beautiful family. 4 days prior, in this particular story, to us coming to this point, one of his sons had just gotten married to a wonderful young lady. Things were going really well. He was happy, and he was like, nothing can hurt me now, right? He was happy, didn't know anything that was going on. And his daughter, actually, one of his daughters had just met a young man who was a hunter, and he's following in his father's footsteps. And his position, this young man was also listening to the advice of Ifasa, who is a very good match for Arumila's daughter, because he was following the words of Ifa. He wanted to have his family grow up as an Ifa family also. And so all of these good things were going on in Arumila's life. And so it came day for Oshe Ifa. This is our Ifa devotion day. On Oshe Ifa, we go to ask Ifa if our next 5 days will be in Ire. And so Orumila goes with his family. They all come together to do their Oshe Ifa. They do their prayers, and he casts the Obi And the OB kept giving the message of death and sickness.
Mm.
And he says, this is strange, but everything is going so well. It's going so well. He kept asking, he kept asking, he kept trying to see if they'll take this offering. He kept seeing if it'll, whatever I need to do, work with another Risha. He just kept asking and asking, and nothing changed the outcome of the OB until he finally asked, should I go and seek divination? And the OB says yes.
Mm.
So Orumila gathers himself up and he goes to see his students, those difficult names that we pronounced in the beginning, the three Awos. He goes to seek them for divination. They were actually students of Orumila, and he was extremely proud of how competent they were as Ifa priests and how well they were doing for themselves. So he goes to have Ifa cast, and they cast Ifa for him, and Ogbefun comes. And they tell Orumila that death and affliction were gathering themselves to come and enter Orumila's home. Even though things seemed wonderful, even though things seemed like they couldn't go bad, like everything was going right, they were gathering themselves. And so his students had told him, given him the advice and said, this time you need to protect your family, you need to protect yourself. It's important that you offer ebo, and it's important that you feed your ori. And the reason for feeding his ori was that so that when he was working with the OB, that his ori would allow him to see that when his enemies were working to come against him, that they would manifest itself through the divination methods, through the OB that he was using. So Orumila says Ashe. He offers his abo. He does everything that he needs to do, feeds his ori, does it that day, and then goes back to his family. And so here comes our favorite superstar. As I was saying, death and affliction were getting ready to enter the home of Orumila. It's like they were gathering their forces. And Eshu finds his way out, and after Orumila offers his abo, and he starts looking at death and affliction. He's watching them from afar, and then he essentially does what he does and wipes them out, and causes this blockage to support Orumila. Right. That's the power of Eshu in our lives. Right. And so everything, yeah, he shut the door on them. Like, not today. And so that was, and death and affliction were beside themselves. They were like, we were all set. What happened? I didn't even know we were coming. So Oromila's family lived to continue on practicing their Oshe and have continued to have a very successful life. And this is an important message for us all to understand that Ifa, we understand Ifa to Ifa practitioners, as it says in the Odu of Osa Alawo, Osa Atura, that Ifa is the truth. Ifa is the voice of Olodumare, right? Orumila is the one that passes that message to us all, right? Through the corpus of Odu Ifa. And so knowing that, we have this connection to Olodumare that is extremely special, right? Not only through our Ori, but through the corpus. And so as we study, as we practice, we do our Oshes, we're getting that information to realign us constantly, right? And Oshes, my favorite question to ask on Oshes, even if it comes out in the negative, is to say, are my next 5 days going to be any ray? Right? Right. Hopefully it's yes, and then we can move on. But in case it's no, like Orumila did in the story, we don't want to leave that session on the no. We don't want to leave that session without knowing how we can make things better. Right? And sometimes it's as simple, I love it when it's as simple as, Ifa, will cool water assist in opening my path? Right? Ifa, will OT bring happiness to my family? Right? Happiness to our people, to open my life so that we can move forward. Right. See, these are the things that we need to do for ourselves. And it's the simple things. And then when it gets too complicated, it gets too much, then we seek the advice of Ifa. Right. We cast Ifa, we go to our elders, we go to whoever supports us that could bring that information. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We have Osei for all of the Orisha. We do. And I want, even though I'm here, I'm talking about Ifa work. We're in Ifa temple. The priests of Oshun If you're at Oshun house or Oshun temple and you do your Oshe, if Oshun is telling you that there is a challenge of sickness or death, right? Don't leave that challenge without knowing how to resolve that problem, right? Then you go, you cast your Erundir Lagoon, or you have another Awo cast the Erundir Lagoon, whatever you need to do to make sure that you have that information, because that all is communication from Olodumare, right? All of the Odu, whether it be Erundir Lagoon or Ifa, is our support from Olodumare through the Orishas, right? And that's what makes it a beautiful thing. So uh, let's wrapping everything up. I want us to understand that we have so much to be thankful for as practitioners of Ifa and Orisha. We have a system of communication. We have a system that begs of us to do things together as a community, as a family. We have a system that tells us that we need to work to find, fulfill, and truly understand what our destiny is, right? Does anybody know? May I ask a quick question? What are some of the erase? Let me ask that before we get out of here. What are some of the blessings? When I say, I know long life, yes. Ashe,
Knowledge,
Ashe,
wisdom,
Ashe,
good house,
Ashe,
spouse, good children,
Ashe,
victory over evil,
Ashe,
all the good things in life.
Ashe, right? See, all of those things are what Olodumare wants for all of us. And so we have to understand when any part of our life is missing something that we're looking for, then let the Orisha guide us. Let them bring that information to us so that we continue to sort of realign ourselves on our path so that we can find ourselves in a place of fulfillment. I say. So practice your Oshe Ifa, practice communication with your Orisha. Do it as a community if you can. Do it as a family. Don't do it alone. If you unless you're alone, then that's understandable. But if you can do it with others, bring others into your circle so that you can all pray for and support each other. Ashe. I just have a few messages that I want to share. Saturday, August 17th, 17th, Saturday, August 17th, Okamaso Day celebrating Ito Dunlifa. We got delayed because we all ended up getting sick. Many of us, the different families ended up getting sick. So we are going to have our Otun on Saturday. We're going to be feeding Ifa, celebrating, casting our Odu of the year, and celebrating with each other. So we hope that if you are in town, that you'll join us for that celebration. And anybody who would like to participate in the celebration, please reach out, send us a message, check out our website. We do have a WhatsApp community that I try to help teach knowledge and share with folks. We have a Q&A group, a group for the temple, a group for young awos within our system who are willing to just talk Ifa with other awos. It's not really a place where we tell people how to do ceremonies, but we'll talk a lot about philosophy and ethics of Ifa and try to support each other that way as best we can. So please check us out, reach out. We will always accept you into our community. We want Ifa and Orisha to be for everyone. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful week. Thank you, Iya, for allowing us to be here and sharing these messages with you today. Aburu aboye aboshishe ubuato.
I shall.
Wow.